Has it ever crossed your mind why bad things happen to you? Why it seems like the whole world is against you? And why everything doesn't go as planned? Well, let me tell you this. Things won't always go the way you want it to go, and not all the good things will happen to you because we, as humans, were made to make mistakes and learn from them in hope that we will be a better version of ourselves. Well, let me start off with a story. A guy named Drew grew up in a small town where life was laid back. People were happy with what they had and didn't long for anything more or less. At the age of 12, Drew's mom was diagnosed with bone cancer, and his family decided to get her right leg amputated in hope of her not regaining the cancer. This tragedy landed Drew's family in deep financial trouble. His father, who was a fisherman, fished all day and all night so he could sell his catch and use that money to send Drew to school, pay for hospital bills, and most importantly, to put food on the table every day. Drew, who went to high school at a nearby town, would come home every night drunk and hot-headed. He was such a rebellious and disrespectful kid who cursed at his parents for everything they did for him and who took things for granted. One night, his mom cooked fried fish. When Drew got home from school, he saw the food and immediately became furious because he wasn't satisfied with the food. He got up, threw his plate on the ground, cursed at his parents for giving him the most uncomfortable lifestyle, and fled the house. The next day, when Drew came home, his parents sat him down and talked to him about his grades because he was failing majority of his classes. They talked to him and told him how he should take his education seriously because that's the only thing they can give him because they are not rich. His parents also said that the only thing they want is for him to finish college so that he could have a better life. Drew sat and listened for hours, but did not understand a word his parents said. The words went in one ear and out the other. A month passed by, and Drew received the worst news he has ever gotten and will ever get in his entire life. His mother's cancer has returned, and his father now has cancer as well. Drew felt as if everything around him stopped, and he had this heavy, indescribable feeling on his chest. From that day, Drew started to change his ways. He took his education more seriously and stopped taking things for granted and started to appreciate everything around him. Although his efforts of trying to be the better person he was before, his efforts were useless. His parents both eventually passed away. Drew, without a place to stay because their house and land was taken away from them, lived on the streets. He did not have food to eat nor shelter to shelter him from the rain. None of his relatives took him in because of his past history of being rude, disrespectful, and for throwing food everywhere just because he didn't like it. Because he wanted to live, he dug through trash cans looking for food, and only then did he realize that his parents were the most important people in his life. But one day, his life changed when a kind man named Joel came up to him and decided to take him in because he saw that Drew was very dedicated and wanted to succeed. Joel fed Drew, clothed him, and eventually sent him to school. Drew, who was grateful and blessed to have received this opportunity, went to school with his parents in mind and did his best. He gave all his assignments and projects 110% and eventually graduated as the magna cum laude at his respective university. Drew's life is an example of how bad things can help you become a better person. Things will always be hard, and things will never go the way you want them to go, because that's just the nature of life. People were born to make mistakes and not to fake perfection, as Drake mentioned. In conclusion, trials and tests will always be there, but instead of taking these moments and making it something bigger than us, why don't we just start using it as a motivation to be a better version of ourselves? Trials and tests are instruments that God uses to make us believe in Him even more and to make us realize that we shouldn't take things for granted, and that by going through a bad moment in life, it will make us stronger and more prepared for what the future has in store for us.